It is now April 3rd. It's Friday, and Carrie is sleeping like 2 feet away. Here, I'll show you. Hold on. Or at least she would be sleeping, except that I talk kind of loud. I want to talk today about April Fool's Day because it's my all-time favorite holiday, and it was a bust and a half this year, which is my own fault. Usually I spend time in the January, February months, and March a little bit too, planning and getting everything all set up and making it just perfect. But this year, I spent January and February going, I have to move to Australia, I have to pack and stuff. And then I spent March going, I'm in Australia, let's go out and party. And so then March 31st showed up and I went, oh crap. So I started Facebook chatting everybody who was online, begging for jokes, and nobody had anything, and it was horrible. So I finally just kind of gave up on the plan. I was like, well, maybe I'll just turn all the posters upside down in Oliver's room or something lame like that. And then a perfect joke just kind of fell into my lap. Kind of, sort of, not really. So what happened was, I was up in my room listening to music. I think I was listening to the new U2 song, which is really good, and the music video is really weird. Go check it out. And Oliver came into my room, really angry. First he knocked on the door, and I was like, come in. And he comes in all angry, and he's like, you! I'm not going to try the Australian accent, by the way. It just isn't going to work. If Charlie was here, he'd do it for me, but not so much. So, he's like, you! I've been knocking for 20 minutes, and I shouted, and I rang the doorbell, and you wouldn't come and let me in. I had to break into the back of the house. And I didn't want to say, oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you, because then he'd probably make fun of me for being stupid and old and deaf. So instead, I just went, April Fools. He got so angry. He was like, oh, you heard me? How did you know it was me? And I was like, I heard you shouting, obviously. Come on. So he's like really angry, and he's like storming through the house all angrily, showing me how he had to break into the house, blah, 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 blah. So Carrie comes in, and he's like telling Carrie, and she comes in, and she's like, oh, so I heard you got Ollie. I was like, yeah, shut the door real quick. So she shuts the door, and I'm like, I didn't hear him. And so we had to keep it a big secret until Ollie suddenly thinks he's, got the one up on me, and he comes and goes, after you do the jokes on April Fool's Day, no jokes count after 12 o'clock. And I was like, that's so not true. I'm sorry. I know April Fool's Day rules, and that the rules are that there are no rules. But apparently in Australia, you're only allowed to do jokes until noon. And after that, if you pull a joke after midday, the joke's on you. Then I had to explain to Ollie that I wasn't pulling a joke at all, so that the joke wouldn't be on me, of course, because I can't have the joke on me. I mean, come on, I don't want a joke. So it was really sad. So basically, my April Fool's Day ended up being that I didn't have a joke that turned into a joke that turned into a joke on me that turned into a not joke. Happy April Fool's Day! I'm gonna knock you out! Mama said knock you out! I'm gonna knock you out! Mama said knock you out! And I got a card from my mom and dad and my sister today, and it had a letter from my grandma in it too. But here is my card. But this is the best part of the card. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Thank you, Mom and Dad and Alexis and Grandma.